So hopefully now the argument for not starving yourself has been accepted, and we're looking at what we can do to eat foods that are going, or what foods we can eat now that are going to help us to burn off energy, metabolize, and basically live with high energy levels. So we've got to just re-establish this. You're not on a diet. You've got to try and think that the food you're going to eat is going to be the food you're going to eat for life. So it's got to be varied. It's got to be enjoyable. It's got to be good food. And the goal has to shift from starving or reduced calories to basically clean eating and eating stuff that's not processed generally, and training to increase your muscle metabolism. So, what do we want to eat? Well, how do we want to eat it? Well, we want to remember we don't want to get hungry, and we want to try and eat foods that are going to keep us filled up. And generally speaking, they will be things that are high in protein and high in fibre. Both protein takes a long time to break down, and fibre you can't break it down. Simple carbohydrates, you digest them very quickly. They send your sugar levels up, and then you crash, and then you get hungry. So avoiding simple carbohydrates and going for complex carbs and fibre and protein, that's going to do the job for us. Okay. Now, David Zinczenko, author of a book that came out several years ago. If you want some light reading, it's a really good book. I can't recommend it enough. It goes into some science, but not too much. And he basically recommends these key foods that are given by this acronym, ABS Diet Power. So I'll go through these and really sort of tell you why these are the foods that I eat and what's so good about them. So first up on the A is the almonds and other nuts. All nuts, as long as they've got the skin on, are going to be high in fibre. Almonds are particularly good. They contain a lot of trace minerals. They're high in monounsaturated fats, and they really are the king of nuts. They keep you filled up for absolutely ages and have a great deal of nutrients that help you to digest fat. Beans and legumes, often overlooked, very high in fibre. They stay in you for a long time. They really are tricky to digest, and they're very good for that reason. Okay, they also contain, a number of them contain certain bacteria that are very beneficial to our digestive system. We need to get our greens in there. Now, a lot of people don't like eating green vegetables, myself included, but you have to get them in there because green vegetables contain all of the chemicals that fight free radicals in our bodies, and they contain a great deal of antioxidants. Greens also contain precursors for producing nitrous oxide, and that allows your body to dilate its capillaries and to get better blood flow and better circulation to the muscles. So green vegetables are really key in terms of strength and size, mass gaining for muscles, because they allow blood flow to get into the muscles better, and that's going to be something that you need to do. So just hide them if you don't like them, chuck them in a smoothie, blend them up, and get them down here. Dairy products get a bad rap. Generally speaking, they contain fat, and people can't see past that. But you need calcium because that is absolutely essential in the actual process of breaking down fat. And the people on a high dairy diet, a high calcium diet, are also able to excrete more fat in their stools that basically binds to fat in the body and then takes it out as it goes. Instant oats. If you were going to go hiking and you had to pick what breakfast you'd have, you definitely wouldn't be picking, cornflakes. You'd have something like oats because you know they're going to give you energy all day long. Apply that throughout the day as much as you can. Flapjacks and snacks. When you're doing your snacks, I recommend getting oats into wherever you can. Again, they keep you filled up for hours. Eggs is next on the list. Again, same as oats really. Super convenient. It takes 5 minutes to boil an egg. They're one of the best things for breakfast. They contain virtually no fat, and they're very high in protein, which is good for your muscles. You may think that they contain a lot of cholesterol and they're bad for you. They do contain a lot of cholesterol, but recent studies have shown that it doesn't actually digest into your bloodstream and turn into human cholesterol, so they don't affect your cholesterol levels. Turkey and other lean meats. Now you've got to remember you need to get your protein in there. Tuna and salmon and oily fish contain a number of beneficial lipids which you actually need for brain function, for your eyes, for the well-being of all your cells, all the cell membranes in the body. Turkey is a particular superfood, and it contains a chemical called tryptophan, which is basically a precursor to serotonin. It's highly it's highly utilized in the body to regulate mood and control sort of swings of outlook on life. Basically, turkey is really good for elevating the mood, and that is going to be kind of key in terms of any process of self-improvement. So get your turkey in you. It's cheap, it's low in fat, and it's very good meat. Peanut butter. I sort of think sometimes that he put the pea in the peanut butter in just because he needed a pea. But peanut butter and peanuts in particular of the nuts are very good at promoting free testosterone in the body. Now, people think girls don't need testosterone in the body. Girls do need testosterone in the body. Everyone needs testosterone in the body. And it's people with low testosterone levels or irregular testosterone levels have a sort of reduced energy, lethargy, and a low sex drive. And so getting peanut butter in is a good, quick, easy way of helping to sort of promote this free testosterone, the stuff that's actually floating around in the bloodstream. Olive oil, again, it's the good oil. You need monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats in your diet, so you actually do need to use olive oil and actually get in there. You don't tend to get enough of these beneficial fats in your diet naturally, so try and get olive oil in there. Whole grains, again, if you've got to do bread, you've got to do pasta, you've got to do that sort of stuff. So make sure it's all brown. Make sure you're having whole grains. If you've ever tried eating, a round of bread, round of sandwiches with Vogel's bread, you'll know that keeps you filled up for about twice as long as just normal white bread. Might not taste as nice, but it keeps you going for longer. And it's the whole idea of keeping going for longer and eating the next thing before you're hungry is what's going to trick your body into burning off these calories that you don't need. Protein, you need to get extra protein in. You can't get all your protein from meat. If you did, you'd have too much saturated fat in your diet. So supplement your diet with protein powder. Really good product. I'd recommend, or the company I'd recommend would be theproteinworks.com. It's an online retailer. And I'd say you probably want to have a protein shake twice a day, morning and night. Next up, finally, is raspberries and other berries. You want the dark red and purple coloured berries. Raspberries are particularly good. They contain a very high level of flavonoids and tannins, and these are responsible. These help your body to repair muscle tissue. Basically, what they do is they aid muscle recovery, and so you by doing that you can train harder and be back to a place of comfort faster and ready to go again. So those are the foods you want to try and eat. You want to get them in there. You want to basically be eating as much as that as you can, and you want to be avoiding processed foods. Now, next up, you're going to have to do well. You're going to have to basically have motivation and avoid cravings. And you're going to have to try and change the cravings. Now, we all know the story. We've got a mate, you're going for dinner and you're looking at the steak and chips and mushrooms and it's looking gorgeous. And the geezer next to you suddenly goes, oh, I'm going to have I'll have the salmon with the new potatoes, please. And you're like, how can you actually look at that and think it's better when you've got steak in front of you? And for a lot of people, people tend to fall into one or two categories of vegetables. People either don't like them and don't eat enough of them, or they do like them and do eat enough of them. And I believe that people who don't eat enough of them, their bodies have kind of forgotten what the phytochemicals in them do for you. And very often, if you want to start getting a craving for healthy food and actually finding that good food becomes appealing, sometimes you just have to force it in for a period of time. And the best way to do that, I think, is basically to get smoothies into you. So what we have with good health, basically, or good food, is these phytochemicals, and they're all basically working in synergy. Anything that's made by a plant is a And if you take something as simple as an apple, there'll be something in the order of 300 phytochemicals in an apple. Whereas, a packet of multivitamins may contain 50 to 100 ingredients. If you are going to get a wide spectrum of fruit and vegetables into you, you're going to get swamped with all these different thousands, tens of thousands of different phytochemicals. And once you've got them all in you, your body starts using them, your body starts cranking up its metabolic processes, and it then starts to want more of it. And what happens is you actually start to see healthy food as being more appealing, okay? But you've got to force it in the first place. So the way to do that, I think the best way to do that is with smoothies. And it's not go and get your 5-day, apples, bananas, 5 different fruit and veg, and just use the same 5 things every day. It's about going out there and getting all this different stuff and just chucking it all in, little bits of it, You're making a fruit smoothie, chuck in a little bit of broccoli. Not enough to taste it, just enough to give you some of these phytochemicals. And by doing that, you can try and switch. You can actually find that you get a feel for healthy living. You actually start, for me, you start getting a desire to eat healthy food. If making smoothies every day is a bit too much of a ball ache, then I would say that a good place to start to get them in is a product called Juice Plus, which contains, basically, they take 30 different fruits and vegetables and berries, and they take the water out of it and put it into a set of capsules. You've got to take 6 a day. It's in no way a supplement or a alternative to a healthy diet, but it gives you a good basic spectrum at the start of your day every day, and therefore helps to kickstart the process of craving good food. I got into it last year, and it made a big difference to me. So that I would recommend. If you can't get in the shops, if you want it, get in touch with me, and I can sell it to you. Next up, the next thing about this is really about organisation, and about how, if you've got a goal. Let's say you've got a real lofty goal of getting a 6-pack by the end of 2016. Having what most people think is they just need to get motivated and they charge in the gym and they buy some new clothes and they get a diary and they start recording and they go through it with 100% effort. But reality is, it's not as much about effort as a lot of people think, and more about organisation. And if you think about what you need for a 6-pack, you want to break it down. Part of getting a 6-pack is consistency. So if you take a step back and go, what do I need? I probably need to eat good food every day and train, do something, whether it's 5 days in the gym or just 3 days in the gym or just 2 days in the gym and 3 days of walking or whatever you can do. You need to make a commitment to some actual physical changes. Now, eating clean 7 days a week, that's really hard. How are you going to do that? You need to then break that goal down and say to yourself, well, what can I do to eat clean? And of course, you think about that, it's going to be getting organised. It's actually having prepared meals, taking some time to cook stuff, coming up with a training plan, actually getting organised to do this. Of course, once you've identified that as a sort of interim goal, you're going to make time in your diary. When you're going to make these foods, when are you going to apply your training plan, when are you going to come up with a strategy for how you're going to do this. You see, I do it on a Sunday. I don't spend 3 hours on a Sunday. I just basically go shopping and then, work out what I'm making and make healthy food and sandwiches at the time. But it could be that you need to sit down and cook it all yourself. If you've got this and you decide I'm going to get organised on this day and start cooking there, you're going to need to then think, okay, I need to make time to get the stuff to do my cooking. And it's all about breaking it down, make some time to research your meals, make some time to research your training, make some time to actually think about what's going on. And so it's, in my opinion, the goal of proper fat control, fat loss, is partly motivation, but it's also quite majorly organisation. And so by breaking things down, the stepping backwards, you can really get into a place where next week what you're doing. It's not like I'm going to just go to the gym, that's all I'm doing. You're going to go and buy this food and eat this food on this time, and then it's all it all becomes a lot easier to actually start to see these changes take place. Okie dokie. Next video is going to be on training for muscle metabolism. We're going to be looking at the muscle fibers.